Hey everyone, I'm going to start off this video with giving you an overview on how to set up effects processors inside of the console. Um, in this, uh, we're going to go through the process of sending the effects or sending output from a channel into the effects processor and then out of the effects processor back into either an effects return or into another channel. So in our software, I want to locate the home button and go to my rack units. First thing I want to do is actually put an effects processor in there. Go to my rack units, and in here you'll find three options. The effects sheet is where you can title things. The graphic EQs is where you can put an EQ on an actual output, like your main output for the audience or a monitor mix. I'm going to go into the effects outputs and or the effects control, and it's going to bring me to this screen. I was already on there, so that's why it didn't change. And then to simply add an effects processor, I can select on any one of these rack units. And so I've selected the first one here. It brings up a blank panel. I'm going to go and select change device type. And I want to add in a reverb. And all of these are available to use. I'm going to just use an ambience reverb and select OK. The ambience reverb has two inputs and two outputs, so left and right input and left and right output. If I go back in, if I wanted to change this, I can go back in here to the rack units and change this now. If I wanted to, I can go to effects 1 and I can title that one reverb. And reverb again. And I'm going to go back to my other page again, rack units. And you can see that it's reflected here on the top left-hand side. Now I just have to set up the routing and get signal into it. So I'm going to close the screen and go into my my patching. And I want to send signal from a bus. And typically when I mix, I keep my effects output set up in the higher bus numbers. So in this instance, I'm going to use bus number 16. Just because that's what we're going to start with. I keep all of my monitor mixes for what the band hears on the left side and all of my effects outputs on the right. So I'm just going to select, start with send bus 16, and I want that to go into my effects processors. So I can, I'm going to send a mono source, so I'm just going to take source from the left only and go back, and then I also want to duplicate that and go into the right as well. So now the left and right of the reverb unit are getting signal from bus number 16, and it verifies on the little pop-up tab that says internal effects 1, source 2. And that's it from there. Now that it's sending signal, I need to get signal from the effects processors back into somewhere on the console. So you'll see here on the left side, I've got my reverbs, and I'm going to take this here. And I can do my auto grouping, select outputs 1 and 2, and I want to go into inputs, and now what we'll notice here on our inputs is we should have some inputs that are not typically behind the console, but they're called auxiliary returns. They're internal buses. So I'm just going to select inputs 1 and 2. It automatically goes now, so it says auxiliary return 1 source from the internal effects 1 output 1. This one's from the internal effects 1 output 2. So now my routing is done completely for that processor, for that reverb unit. Now all I have to do is go back into my channel strip itself. I'm going to go back to my home page, and if I want to send channel 1, if I want to send signal from channel 1 into that bus, I'm going to need to turn it up, and I think I can do it here just by clicking and dragging for now. There it is. So it's sending signal. But I want to make sure I turn it on, so I'm going to need to go to the overview. Oh, right there, sorry. My eyes were just closed for a second. I'm going to go to auxiliary bus 9 through 16, and because I set it to 16, you can see that it's already been turned on. It's already been turned up. I just had to turn it on. That should now send signal into the actual effects bus. And then from there, I need to verify that it's coming back in and assign my auxiliary return into my main mix. So now if we just jump over here to my auxiliary 1 returns, here's input 1, I can now assign that to my stereo mix, and it's set left and right. It should be that easy. If I set I can set the left side to the left, and I can set the right side to the right, and make sure that one is turned on, and we're all set. The signal should now be routed from channel 1's input into effects number 1, out of effects number 1 into auxiliary return number 1. That's it.